Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tribune News on Here You Go to Morning News Source, only here at the Daily Tribune. We're live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Daily Tribune PH on YouTube, and the Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. For our headlines. The defense of Sara Duterte cited the Marcos administration's denials of any destabilization plot while challenging the National Bureau of Investigation's investigative methods to weaken the prosecution's impeachment case. A massive bar fire in Bangkok killed at least 27 people and injured dozens, making Thailand's deadliest such incident in nearly 2 years. Impeachment court spokesperson Reginald Tongol said Sara Duterte cannot challenge the release of her tax records if Ferdinand Marcos Jr. authorizes their disclosure under the National Internal Revenue Code. The Department of Justice defended the National Bureau of Investigation's probe into the 2019 SEA Games, while Malacanang maintained that Vince Dizon had already been cleared of related allegations. 44 informal settler families in Marikina City have received land titles under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s 4PH program. A new SWS survey showed Sara Duterte's net satisfaction rating rose to plus 31, ahead of her impeachment trial, remaining the highest among the country's top constitutional officials. The Philippines has secured a $6.78 million technical assistance grant from Green Climate Fund to boost climate investments, support clean energy, and protect vulnerable communities. Manny Pacquiao is eyeing a January 2027 rematch with Floyd Mayweather Jr., contingent on Mayweather resolving his legal issues. Yumir Marshall is aiming for Olympic gold at the 2028 Los Angeles Games as he prepares for the 2026 Aichi Nagoya Asian Games after training in Tokyo. Family Feud host Ding Dong Dantes drew mixed reactions online after a recent episode featured a seemingly political question. Today is 18th day of July 2026, Saturday. I'm Eliana Lacap bringing you this week's top stories. Let's get started. Vice President Sara Duterte's defense questioned the NBI's investigation on the fifth day of her impeachment trial, citing the Malacanang's 2026 statements that no verified destabilization plot against the Marcos administration existed. The defense argued the NBI failed to review videos showing Duterte's fears for her family, never interviewed her, and relied mainly on open-source materials. NBI Regional Director Jeremy Lotok defended the investigation as evidence-based, saying Duterte's statements met the elements of grave threats and posed a potential national security risk, regardless of whether a destabilization plot actually existed. A massive bar fire at a restaurant on the outskirts of Bangkok has killed at least 27 people and injured 63 others, making it Thailand's deadliest fire in nearly 2 decades. Authorities said most victims likely died from smoke inhalation as the fire spread rapidly. Investigators are also looking into reports that a fire exit may have been blocked. Rescue workers and bystanders helped people escape the burning building, while forensic teams continue identifying the victims and determining the cause of the blaze. The Senate impeachment court spokesperson said Vice President Sara Duterte's camp may not be able to challenge the release of her tax records before the Supreme Court if President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. authorizes the Bureau of Internal Revenue to disclose them. House prosecutors are seeking Duterte's tax and bank records to support allegations of unexplained wealth. The defense argues the request is overly broad and violates privacy rights, while prosecutors say the law permits disclosure in impeachment proceedings. The Malacanang, however, said the president has not received any request to authorize the release of the records. The Department of Justice defended the NBI's probe into alleged irregularities in the 2019 Southeast Asian Games, insisting the investigation is based on law, not politics, despite questions over its timing. The NBI said no individual, including Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, has been identified as a subject of the investigation, which covers alleged anomalies involving New Clark City, the 50 million peso cauldron, unliquidated funds, and procurement issues. Meanwhile, the Malacanang reiterated that Public Works Secretary Vince Dizon was cleared by the Ombudsman in 2021 due to insufficient evidence. Now, 44 informal settler families in Marikina City have received land titles under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s 4PH program. The beneficiaries from Barangay Malanday were awarded individual transfer certificates of title during a ceremony led by the DHSUD Secretary Jose Ramon Aliling and Social Housing Finance Corp President and CEO Federico Laksa. Now, an SWS survey conducted before the start of Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment trial showed her net satisfaction rating rose to plus 31 in June from plus 29 in March, making her the highest rated among the country's top constitutional officials. The survey found her ratings remained steady despite the impeachment proceedings and political tensions with the Marcos administration. Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian, Chief Justice Alexander Gasmundo, and Speaker Martin Romualdez also posted positive but lower satisfaction ratings. The survey interviewed 1,200 adults nationwide from the June of 20th to 29th. Now, the Philippines has secured a $6.78 million technical assistance grant from the Green Climate Fund to strengthen its climate project development and implementation. The 60-month program aims to unlock more international funding for climate resilience, renewable energy, food and water security, and the protection of vulnerable communities. The Department of Finance said the grant would also align climate investments with the country's national adaptation plans, making the Philippines the first Asia-Pacific nation to receive readiness support under the GCFS 2024 to 2027 replenishment cycle. Now, 8th-division boxing champion Manny Pacquiao is targeting an exhibition fight in the last quarter of 2026 after plans for a rematch with Floyd Mayweather are put on hold. Manny Pacquiao Promotion CEO Jas Mathur said the camp is arranging the exhibition, while hoping a January 2027 rematch can still happen if Mayweather's legal issues are resolved. Pacquiao last fought in July of 2025, battling Mario Barrios to draw for the WBC welterweight title. Mathur added that the Filipino boxing legend remains in top condition for a return to the ring. Now, Tokyo Olympic bronze medalist Yumir Marshall remains determined to compete in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, saying an Olympic gold medal remains his lifelong dream. Currently training in Tokyo, Marshall is focused on the Aichi Nagoya Asian Games this September. However, he is also considering a proposed professional fight in the United States scheduled around the same time. Promoter Sean Gibbons believes Marshall is just 2 or 3 wins away from a world title shot as he continues balancing his amateur and professional boxing careers. Now, Family Feud host Ding Dong Dantes drew mixed reactions online after a recent episode featured a seemingly political question. The host asked the question, ano ang posibleng trabaho ng taong laging naka-livestream o naka-Facebook Live, with the choices being online seller and senador. The question quickly went viral, with some netizens finding it humorous, while others viewed it as a political jab. And that's all for now. Join us again tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. still here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Daily Tribune PH on YouTube, with the Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. Also catch the diva that you love, Alwin Ignacio, and Ultra Maldita Alex Brosas later and tomorrow, 4 o'clock p.m. for the DTT show on Jadio Tirada's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Once again, I'm Eliana Lacap, and this has been Tribune News on Q.